Alright, so my name is Sebastian Jimenez. I want to talk to you guys about FitMe, our app.
What are their names?
They'll come next.
Oh, I didn't know. I thought you forgot. That would have been rude.
Nah. Alright, so why this app? So when we first got together, we all had like different ideas. We had like 5 between all 3 of us. But at the end, we decided to go with this one because it was the one that we all liked. It was the one that we saw most future. So we went for it. At the beginning, we were gonna work on the app kind of individually, each one at their house, and then kind of with GitHub share the code. But we found that wasn't working that well. So we decided to just meet up at the library. We met for the past few months, every Monday and Thursday, all 3 of us in the library, 2nd floor, sharing the big screen, sharing all the code. So that worked way better than what we were trying to do before because we were all involved in it. There was a lot of brainstorming while we were doing it, so we all agreed to everything that we're going to show you guys today. With that, we ate a lot of pizza because that's pretty much what we ate every Monday and Thursday. When we started this app, we knew there was a lot of competition. There's like Nike Run, there's In the Window or something. But all the apps were kind of complicated. They're for every sport, a lot of sports. We wanted one that was just for runners. So we wanted an app. We wanted to create an app that was simple to use, but it was also powerful. So we took a big challenge with this class. We wanted to create an app that was, it was non-trivial, but we didn't have any experience with Android when we started. So, and we also wanted to create a good looking application, easy to use, efficient, that it wouldn't take all the resources of the phone when you're using the app. So with that, we use a lot of sensors. We took a lot of research to try to use all these sensors. We're using the strap. I'm going to show you guys later. Text-to-speech, Bluetooth, GPS. So it took a lot of research on all of us to get all those things to work. With the GPS and Google Maps, we're getting coords from the GPS, and then at the end we can plot them on a Google Map. That way, later I'm going to show you that you can share. And so with your friends, they can see the maps, they can see where you're from, that you can maybe compete with them on, I can run the same track faster with better heart rate or whatever you want to, get into. The body harness we used for the heart rate. It was a big challenge with this. We contacted Zephyr, that company, with their sample code when it wasn't working. It was pretty old, and all they said was, sorry, we don't have time to fix it. You just gotta figure it out on your own. So we finally got it to work, but it was a lot of work. This app is one of the, I think if it's not the only one, there's only a couple of them out there that use this harness for runners. There's no other apps out there that uses this harness. We also use the accelerometer from the phone. With that, we calculate the speed and distance. It took us quite a few days to figure out what the good parameters for it was. So we had him running all over the library, trying to count, make sure that the steps were right, because the sensor on the phone was kind of, sometimes it would go too fast, sometimes it would go too slow. So it took a long time to figure out the right timers. Bluetooth and 3G or Wi-Fi. We use the Bluetooth to connect to the strap, and we use the 3G or Wi-Fi to connect to the database. We use an external database. That way, if you lose your phone or if you use somebody else's phone, you can still access all your data. And maybe in the future we're gonna have a website with all your data you can access. So from the beginning, putting the database externally on a server was a big help. We got the database on a dedicated server on Google on GoDaddy, on a GoDaddy hosted server. Alright, we also got text-to-speech. We alarms you when the heart rate goes high, above the threshold, and we're gonna show you guys later that part. And at the end, you can share your runs. We didn't want to limit the user to just these 3 apps to share. So the user has the option to share on any app that they have installed on their phone. So when you hit the share button, it brings up a dialog with all the apps that you have installed on your phone that can share. So if you want to share through email, Facebook, Google Plus, and all that. So I'm gonna pass command to Álvaro, who's going to show you some little technical details about the app.
Well, hi everyone. Let's say that for this case, we have our phone and we're trying to log into the application. Well, the first step is to connect to the database. To do so, we use JDBC. And then the server checks if the username, the password is correct, and if so, it let us logging into the application. Then let's say that we want to retrieve the stats, the statistics. So again, we connect to the server, and we don't download only the parts that we are displaying in the screen, but we also download some other hidden data, so that then if we want to see the run in detail, we don't have to connect again to the server, which take time and resources. And let's say that we want to display the map with our path. Well, we can do it in 2 ways. If we have our information in the memory of the phone, we can display it just by there, so we don't use again internet connection. And in case we lose the phone, we buy a new one, or whatever, we can connect to a server so that we can retrieve the data from there, so that we will always be able to access our information.
So just a little code. I'm going to go through it quickly so you don't get bored. With the database, we use JDBC and MySQL database. Here we can see that we create the connection. We created a result set that stores that query that we sent to the database. And here's how we upload the file. So we created a PHP page on our server, and we connect to that page and then upload the string that we have from the coordinates. And then you don't see at the end, but we close the connection at the end just to save resources. And here we have a saving the run or connection detector. We use this function quite a lot through the application for different reasons that he's going to show us later. But this is pretty much tests that you have an internet connection before we can do certain functions on the phone, on the app.
Okay, so as we said before, we are using the accelerometer to detect the steps. So each time there's a step, we have a listener, and well, there's a huge amount of code. And each time there's a step, we check what time is it. We save it, and each 5 steps, we control the amount of time that went by, and then we display. We can display with this data the speed. We are not doing this using GPS or threads because, as you will see, with the Scrub, it takes a lot of resources. So we wanted to save resources. And then we can display the data both in miles and kilometers, depending on your preferences. So when we are displaying the statistics, we just connect to the server. As I said before, we not only download the data that is displayed, actually it's only displayed the date, the distance, and the time. But we also display, we also retrieve more data, so that later we don't have to connect again to the server. Okay, for the double button for the connection to the strap, we're just using a service. We do it in another thread. And also, I forgot to say that each time we connect to the database, we're doing it using threads. So that there is, even if you are using a really old phone, you don't ever, you never get an application not responding message. For the map, well, we're using a class that's called map overlay that's inside the detail run activity, which we'll show you later. In this case, well, we're just getting the geopoints, and we each time we get the geopoint from the file, we create a list and that contains maps. Each map contains the latitude and the longitude. And well, for each time we want to paint the map, we just get from these maps. Sorry. We just get from this map the position, the coordinates, and we paint it on the map. So, to get the coordinates, we have two options, as we said before. We can retrieve them from the memory, or we can retrieve them from the server. In this case, it's from the server. Well, we just download, we just access to this URL, and as we said before, we have some hidden data. One of these hidden data is the ID of the route, and we can get the file using this information. Then, well, we have here a loop where we retrieve everything. And we can also read them from the internal memory. It's the same way. The file has the same name. So in case you are going to display your information with the same phone that you run, you will be able to do so without connecting anyone to the internet. So, let's take a look at the usability. When we were creating this application, since the very beginning, it's really common to hear that engineers, well, they can create useful stuff, but sometimes it's really hard to use, and we didn't want to do that. We wanted to create an application that my friends can use, my mother can use. So what we did is to create a DEFEOOU application. That stands for designed by engineers, but for each one of us. We can create an application system that's full of buttons. It's hard to use, and it's really ugly. So we don't want that. So we didn't want to do that. So what we did is to create the navigation system that is being used in Android 4. But since most of the users use Android 2 smartphones, we implemented that. So this is what we have. This is much so. We can also, for toggle buttons, well, Android comes with toggle buttons. That's true. They are useful, yes, but they are horrible. So we didn't want to do that either. What we have instead is our own toggle buttons, which look much better. So we'll see now a little demo. So I'd like to invite Gonzalo to the stage.
Hello everyone, I'm Gonzalo. I'm gonna show you like a bit demo, short demo of the application. So we are gonna try pretty much to go through all the features of our application.
So we're not going to use the camera. We have a little software that projects whatever he's doing on the phone.
Yeah,
Maybe a bit better.
yeah, it will have like a short delay because of the refreshment rate of the projector. But I think it will work.
And this is not a Eclipse emulator. It's actually the phone that's projecting the image.
Okay, so here we are. So this is our icon, our application. So first screen is basically our login screen. We can either try to log us with our username or create a new account. So first of all, we are gonna try to create a new account. We have pretty much like covered all the possible cases. Like if we try to create a new account with a user that is already created or that is already stored in the database, we will be able to do it. So I'm gonna try to create this user that we already created from the gmail.com. Another friendly feature that we implemented or that we use is just trying to show like in these text views, you can see how the keyboard changes from a simple text view to a email text view. It adds like the at sign. So those kind of small features are eventually like the ones who make the difference between a simple application and like a good or like at least a friendly look and feel friendly application. Let's try to get connected to John again. We try to create our new account. It checks with the server and it says that there's already a user with that username. So that's why we cannot create our new user. So I'm gonna just create a new user that any of you can choose the username or the email. It also check that the email is correct, like that it has like the email format. So if we don't have any at sign or something, it will complain the application. It will say email not valid. So I know guys, give me just a sample name that you want to register for your username. Michael King. Okay, let's go for Michael. Let's try Michael. Gmail.com. Password. Pass. Whatever. So we create our new account. It uploads the information to the server. You create your user, and you come to the home screen. This is like pretty much like the main screen. And this is where we are gonna be referring all the time. So before starting our run, we can actually try to sort between all the possible menus, and we got like the home screen, the stats menu, where we are gonna store all our runs. But since this user is like a new user, we are not gonna be able to see any previous run. So let's select, for example, options before starting our run to see all the possible options that we have. Like we can choose 3 miles and kilometers. We can try to switch on our strat to withdraw one. We can actually update a new password or even choose a new avatar. Like we, for example, like to have like a different one, we just choose it. Let's choose the fireman. Yeah, we just basically have to save the changes, and the changes get updated to the server. But right now, let's try to get connected with the strap.
Got a strap on, it's turned on, so.
Can you just show that like as you can see, there is only three lights. The Bluetooth light is still missing because we are not connected to the strap. So let's try to get connected to the strap to Bluetooth with Bluetooth. But since we are not, we don't have any Bluetooth connection in our phone, it will ask us for request us for the accreditation to get connected to the Bluetooth. So we allow him to use the Bluetooth, and then we are basically switching on the Bluetooth, and then we try to get connected again to the strap. We turn on the strap option, and we can see how the blue light is getting connected, so the strap is working. Hopefully it will be working. So we save our change, and then we go. And then we go to the home screen, and we see how our new heart is like our application knows that we are using the strap. So before getting connected to the strap, we don't have that option. So this is basically, if you don't have the strap, you can still use it, but you won't measure your heart rate. So basically, yeah, for that. So let's try to make Sebastian to work out a bit. So we start our workout. So let's try to. Well, I think that's a bit high, right? So if we are gonna basically have our application, our phone in our pocket, and it will be measuring our measurement and all that, all our details. So it basically is using the pedometer and all the sensors. So the faster we move, the more speed we will have. We will see that. So basically, Sebastian is just getting like quite high rate.
You're running fast.
Yeah. It's like we still have to calibrate this.
Well, the speed he's doing it with the hand is not the same speed that you get in your pocket.
So it's like when you are running, it's like the point.
So it's going up and down faster than you would.
You will do it if you have it on your pocket. Yeah, that's it. So and that's it. Like we can actually finish our run. But one thing about our application is that if you don't have internet connection, by the moment that you want to finish your run, the best thing you can do is to pause the run, and then when you arrive home or you already have internet connection, then you can finish your run. Because otherwise your run won't be uploaded to the server because it doesn't have any internet connection, and it will just complain. So we are finishing our run, and it uploads all the videos to the server, and we see like in our stats menu you can already see your run. If we click on this run, we will probably see we will see all the main details. We will see our Google Maps, but since we are like studying here, like in our in this lab, so we are only gonna see that point. So we are not moving everything. And there you go. You can see all the details, distance runs, total time, average speed, maximum heart rate. We have also controlled that if it doesn't detect any heart rate, it won't show any heart rate at all. So those options will be disabled, and we can actually share the run too. But let me show you so sometimes when you run, you want to see like your map, you want to drag it or to see like more specifically where you have run. So I'm gonna show you like a default user. And I'm gonna log in again with our user that we created before. This user is like a default user that we have.
This is the one that we use for the upside to get different coordinates in the database.
Yeah, we were like walking over the campus. So I'm gonna show you like all the different runs, like one of the different runs that we did over the campus. Like you can check like the GPS works and the registers and all the run. Let me find it. This one. and there you go. You can see our run. And if you click on the map, you can actually drag it and just watch it like more in detail. So it basically will show you all the run that we followed. Sometimes it's like useful to see, or you just want to see where were you running from to. And yeah, that's pretty much what it says. Like a good thing about the GPS on the, so you might say, like, you might think like, maybe I don't have GPS, or I don't want to use the GPS because it's gonna burn out all my battery, and I want to save it for something else. The good thing about our application is that if you don't have GPS, or you don't want to turn it on, you can still use the 3G connection. But the worst thing about it is it won't be like that accurate as a GPS is. So it will maybe show you like maybe a route that is not that accurate with the GPS. And obviously, if we are proud of our race, and we want to show to our friends how fast we are, we can always share it like in the main applications or social networks that you have, like Facebook, email, or Skype, or whatever. And that's pretty much what is our application. So that was it. Just to end, we're gonna talk about like small things. Álvaro is gonna talk about small things, and we'll present like a final.
We're about to finish. Just gonna wrap it up.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the future. We're planning to release this current version of Google Play, but it's not just that. We're also planning to fix some bugs, and also put new features in it. We actually have some ideas. We actually have some ideas. So let's take a look at the market. Our competitors have currently are really successful. They're actually having over 100,000 downloads. That's a lot. And so as you can see, that we can really earn some money from this application. But there is one important thing, and is that most of them are only available in English. So we're announcing today that FitMe will be available in English, Spanish, French, German, and Korean. But let's take a look at China. Chinese is the most spoken language in the world. According to Wikipedia, there is over 1 billion native speakers. That's a lot. A lot. So we're also announcing today that for the next version, FitMe will also be available for China. And one of the really cool things, as you can see, the app seems to be really cool, is that you will be able to try and enjoy as much as you want. Sorry. Is that you will be able to try and enjoy as much as you want FitMe for free. It will be available on Google Play this Christmas. So we like so much FitMe that we created a little video I would like to show you.
Attention, your heart rate is really high.